Hello viewers, I am Rishiraj Adhikary and I will be presenting our work titled Vartalaap, What Drives Air Pollution Discussion, Politics, Pollution or Pseudo-science. Do you know that in 2019 alone, air pollution was responsible for 1.67 million deaths in India? Air pollution is a global problem. Ambient fine particulate or particles that have diameter less than 2.5 micrometer is the most significant risk factor for premature death, shortening life expectancy at birth by 1.5 to 1.9 years. According to the study of global burden of disease, short-term exposure to air pollution is associated with premature mortality, lung disease, among others. Let me start with a question. Which place among A and B do you think is more polluted? Visually, place B looks more polluted, but the pollution levels in A is also 6 times above the World Health Organization's limit. According to WHO, the daily mean PM 2.5 should not be more than 15 microgram per meter cube. Generally, we as humans tend to perceive pollution based on what we see, but air pollution in many cases is invisible to our eyes. If we cannot perceive pollution properly, how can we understand its risk and protect ourselves? Air pollution is a year-long problem in Delhi. It breaches the WHO limit more than 90% of the time. In our work, we concentrate on Delhi's air pollution because it is one of the most polluted as well as densely populated city in the world. Hence, more people are at risk in Delhi than anywhere else. Research has shown that accurately understanding perception can inform policymakers and potentially save millions of lives. We now take a deeper dive into the specific aspects of public perception. We are measuring the public perception across the following 3 points. First, what is the public perception towards air pollution mitigation strategies? Second, is the public discussion about air pollution proportional to air pollution? That is, does air pollution cause Twitter discussion? And third, what topic do people discuss about air pollution and what is the relation between these? Previous research have used questionnaire-based surveys for perception studies, but they are not scalable. They do not incorporate temporal reaction changes in opinions and involve a few 10 to 100 participants only. Sentiment analysis has been used in the domain of climate change, but sentiment analysis on air quality has so far been limited to a few thousands of datasets with relatively shorter period. Our approach is to leverage the advances in NLP and statistics to use social media for gauging public perception. We use Twitter as a social media and we have collected a dataset comprising of 1.2 million tweets on Delhi air pollution from January 2016 till March 2020. We use the snowball sampling approach to retrieve tweets using a combination of queries and hashtags. Some of these queries are shown here. We have also analyzed particulate matter data of Delhi during the same period to verify if there is any causality between the number of tweets and pollution levels. Here we present the highlight of our dataset. Now I will highlight some interesting words from the word cloud generated from the Twitter data. The word Swachh Bharat refers to Clean India mission implemented by the Union Government of India. Cleaning as associated with garbage burning that causes air pollution and hence people discuss this policy in relation to air pollution. The word crash, test and day refers to the discussion about a cricket match between India and Bangladesh which was played amid high pollution in Delhi in the year 2019. Here people often compare air pollution to smoking cigarettes. Here we observe the term air quality in Spanish. Spanish people have compared pollution in Spain to pollution in New Delhi. Now I will discuss details about the first research question. Let us talk about some mitigation strategies implemented by the different governments to combat air pollution. First is the smog tower, which is a glorified vacuum cleaner to suck the pollutants. A recent study shows that any major metropolitan city might require millions of such a smog tower, where each smog tower costs about 5 million US dollars. The smog towers are clearly not a scalable or viable solution. Here I would like to show you a tweet from a verified user. In social media, there seems to be a lot of interest and positivity around smog tower installations. And another hotly debated mitigation strategy is the vehicle rationing strategy, where on odd days, vehicle with odd registration numbers can ply and so on. While an odd even mitigation strategy reduces travel time by reducing traffic congestion, but recent study shows that the reduction on pollution is within the uncertainty range of satellite-based estimates. Here we have another tweet from a verified user in support of the vehicle rationing scheme. In order to understand the sentiment associated with mitigation strategies, we use a language model called BERT. BERT is trained on Wikipedia data. Wikipedia documents are different from Twitter tweets, thus it is important to contextualize the embeddings to the domain. Let us look at how we contextualize the vanilla BERT model to air pollution Twitter data. We fine-tune the vanilla BERT model with our dataset. In this variant, all the attention layers try to learn a representation with a specific context. Since the task is supervised in nature, we had to manually annotate about 1500 tweets where annotators had high coherence. The annotated dataset was split into 5 stratified folds. We used nested cross-validation for tuning hyperparameters via grid search. The best performing hyperparameter was selected by evaluating the F1 score obtained. Our sentiment analysis on both the odd, even, and smoke tower has an F1 score of 0.89 and 0.90 respectively, which is comparable to other state-of-the-art methods for sentiment analysis on social media. In the confusion matrix for odd, even, and smoke tower shown in the figure, we observe some confusion among the classes. This confusion is because some tweets are hard to classify. As shown, this tweet is not supportive of smoke tower, but our model misclassified it as a positive sentiment due to presence of multiple sentiments. Here is another such example of a tweet talking about the vehicle rationing scheme odd even. We analyzed the sentiment towards smoke tower and we found that it is generally positive. After having answered the public response to mitigation strategies, now we move to the next question, that is the public discussion about air pollution proportional to air pollution? This is a plot showing the air quality discussion throughout the year. The spike occurs during winters. Unfortunately, there is a lull in the rest of the year, but the air quality is above the WHO limit almost throughout the year. We studied whether air pollution Granger-causes treated discussion in terms of the raw number of tweets. The Granger-Causality test is a statistical hypothesis test for determining whether one time series is useful in forecasting another. We found out that for most months of the year, that is January to September, PM 2.5 does not Granger-cause treated discussion on air pollution. This result is unfortunate because it shows that only when the air pollution is visible or extremely hazardous do people talk about it. During October, November and December, Granger-Causality holds. We found that the volume of tweet on air pollution increases abruptly on June 5th, that is World Environment Day, and that is the same period when Granger-Causality approaches the significance level between May and July. This implies that people tend to discuss air pollution on World Environment Day. Now I will briefly talk about topics that emerge on air pollution discussion. In this slide, we show a range of topics that were retrieved from our curated dataset on Delhi air pollution. Topics like children, school also come up, which indicate concerns for school-going children with respect to air pollution in Delhi. In this figure, we show topics evolving over time. Peaks represent the discussion density. This figure again confirms that topic of air pollution appear in winter or during the World Health Day, represented as WHD, or National Climate Assessment, represented as NCA. In the interest of time, I will abstain from going into the details about topic modeling. In summary, we saw that public perception of untested mitigation strategy is positive, which is unfortunate. While air pollution is a year-long problem, Twitter discussions are not. Discussions on most of the topics are short-lived. You're most welcome to read our full manuscript. Thank you.